to welcome you to the Devers OHSU Casey Glaucoma Fellowship. I want to tell you a little bit about our fellowship program, some goals for your fellowship in general. Legacy Health is one of the largest healthcare organizations in Oregon. We have 6 hospitals throughout the region, and here is named Arthur Devers Clinic, and we're named after Arthur Devers, who was a philanthropist and a coffee merchant. And what happened with him is that he was losing his vision, and he went all over the community and the country trying to figure out what his diagnosis was, and he came here and found out he had retinitis pigmentosa. And he was so grateful to find out that the exact diagnosis, that he gave $1 million in 1959 to support eye care regardless of insurance status. And so part of our fellowship program is to take care of those patients. Casey is named after one of the founders of UPS, who, similar story to Arthur Devers, was very happy with his treatment and his care at Casey, and so gave money to support the building and the naming of Casey Eye Institute. Our fellowship is complex. I think right now we might have 10 attendings. And what we call it is a personal fellowship, meaning that we want to know about you. We want to know about your kids and your family, what your interests are, and that's probably one of my favorite things about the fellowship is learning about the fellow. I tell you, my favorite restaurants in Portland, I usually learn from the fellow. We also have a journal happy hour. We have grand rounds. We have all the teaching opportunities you might expect from a large institution like ours. Another unique thing about our fellowship is we're not a service fellowship. And this might sound a little bit caustic, but we actually don't need you. Our clinics run perfectly well without fellows. We all can do our own surgery, and the reason we do this fellowship is because we have friends and family members who might develop glaucoma, and we want to train the best people to treat them. So that's what you're here for, is you're here to learn.
Hi, my name is Emily Jones. I'm one of the glaucoma attendings here at Devers. I will have the fellow in my clinic usually a half day to a day a week, and we operate together every other Thursday. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Good luck to everyone. Thanks.
Hi.
Welcome to Devers. I'm Robbie Knast. I'm one of the Associate Fellowship Directors. And this is AdMed Clinic, which I think is one of the best parts of the fellowship. This is where you'll have your own patients. It's a year-long continuity clinic on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And your own patients, you operate on them, you see them. I'll actually always be here to help as needed, and just to go through any complicated patients or any patients that might be operated on. I'll staff a lot of your surgeries. And we also will try to have coffee once a month, maybe twice a month, and just talk about fellowship, glaucoma, life. I was a fellow here. I think it was an incredible year, and I think it'll be a great year for you too.
Welcome to the Casey Eye Institute. We're really excited and happy for you to join us for a fellowship interview with our combined program with the Devers Eye Institute. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our research program here at Casey Eye Institute. We're really fortunate to have a very deep number of clinicians, scientists who are doing basic and translational and clinical research into glaucoma. We have the Center for Optics and Ophthalmic Lasers, which does cutting-edge OCT and OCTA research that's both prospective and longitudinal and retrospective. Finally, we have a very strong basic science research team, both several researchers who are looking at the trabecular meshwork outflow as well as reduction in outflow in disease stages using both animal models and donated human cadaver eyes. And we have a very strong posterior segment glaucoma basic science research team that looks at both retinal ganglion cells as well as the optic nerve head as the site of injury.
I think the experience here surgically and clinically is really diverse, which is excellent. We get pediatric exposure through Dr. Edmonds and Dr. Lowe. We have exposure to MIGS through most of the faculty here. And we have a lot of experience in the lost art or dying art of trabeculectomy, as well as in multiple kinds of tubes, including the Barvelt, the ClearPath, and the Ahmed valve. So having that diversity of surgical procedures, as well as the diversity in professors who are doing them to show you different ways or different techniques and specialties or special secrets, is really, I think, a benefit to you as the fellow, as it gives you a lot of different ways to think about doing the same procedure, or a lot of different ways to approach a given problem. When I was a fellow, I think one of the things that I really valued was the continuity clinic, and how the staff at Devers was really giving me the opportunity to decide what to do on these patients, with obviously a lot of guidance, but they really gave me that sense of kind of being my own provider and allowing me to try what I was interested in trying. I think that Devers and OHSU are really unique places to work because we have the opportunity to hop on a lot of longitudinal research. At Devers Eye Institute, we have the Portland Progression Project, or the P3 as they call it, and this is 10 years of data or more on a lot of patients, looking at all of these different studies, from their visual fields to their OCTs. And before OCTs, they were doing, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. What's it called? HRTs. They were doing HRTs before that. But you can ask a question. In my fellowship year, we asked the question about, what does peripapillary retinoschisis have to do with glaucoma? And we had this group of over 100 patients where we could automatically research that because we already had all of the imaging available. And so it's really easy to hop on to these longitudinal projects and just ask a question and start moving with it.
There's a lot of different fellowships out there that can teach you the basic clinical and surgical skills that you need to go out and practice in glaucoma. But I think one of the things that makes this fellowship special is that you're not treated as an assistant or a technician or scribe, because they already have amazing people that are in those roles. They don't need you to do that. And you're treated instead as a valued colleague, someone that they're bringing into the profession that they love, helping folks with glaucoma. So when you're exposed to all these different amazing surgical and clinical styles, one of the hardest choices you'll have to make is what's your style going to be. But I can't imagine a better place to start making those decisions. And beside the great clinical experience, Portland's a great town. There's plenty of amazing food, wineries, and breweries in the area. I highly recommend Ecliptic Brewing and Great Notion in particular. And if you enjoy the outdoors like I do, there's even more incredible options. During my year as a fellow, I explored the Oregon coast in my kayak, foraged wild mushrooms, caught some massive sturgeon in the Willamette River, and hiked the Timberline Trail around Mount Hood. We even went to the annual Truffle Dog Championship just a little bit south of Portland. There's so much to do.
Congratulations on your fellowship interview at Devers Casey. My name is Hana Takusagawa, and I was a glaucoma fellow from 2011 to 2012. After the fellowship, I stayed on as faculty at Casey for 5 years, where I was co-associate fellowship director with Robert Canast, who I'm sure you've already met. After the fellowship, I moved down here to lovely Eugene, Oregon, where I was in private practice for a couple of years, and most recently am at the Eugene VA. This is an amazingly personalized fellowship, which will give you the tools for success in both academics or private practice, whichever you choose, or you could choose both, like me. It's given me the tools for lifelong learning as well as lifelong mentorship and friendship. So again, congratulations on your interview.